good. All right. So anyway, really quick, let's do the Forex Factory and take a look at what we have going on next week. 21, 25th. Okay. God damn. That's a whole lot of fluff. Okay. I'll skip Monday. No, I'm just kidding. We do have members, Kashkari, Schmidt, and Daly speaking on Monday. 1, 5, and 6. Obviously, the 1 and 5 not being really important, but really nothing happening, right? No data, nothing important. Let's correlate that with our chart. QQQ.
So it's gonna dump.
Sometimes it will allow. Sometimes no catalyst is better than any catalyst. So, but where are we now? In range. Look at the chat. The fucking calendar, right? To me, that, right, and more of this, right, seems likely. Tuesday, BRIC Summit. Does that affect us? No. FOMC marker, well, maybe, but I don't think so. FOMC member Harker speaking, Richmond Manufacturing Index, IMF meetings. So really nothing, right? Then we go into day 2, which is another BRIC Summit, existing home sales, IMF meetings, crude oil inventories, and more speakers from FOMC. So Thursday, right? So there's the 3 days. Could we see it? Right? It's hard to imagine. Let's go back and count. One big dump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close up against, and then you make a small move out. We're at one big move up. 2, 3, 4. Right? So we might be. It might be a time, or we could see a little bit more of this choppage. And I think that it narrates it well, having these type of days going into it. But with any good break, right, you need a catalyst, or if any continuation, right, you might get a break, but any continuation would likely happen Thursday. Pre-market data, we have unemployment claims, flash manufacturing PMI, and flash services PMI. Kind of a boring week. All right, and then we have, I already pulled it up over here, so let's pull it up over there. There we go. All right. So a little bit more interesting on the earnings side, right? Monday, I see Nucor, which is something I've played before. Logitech, which you guys pointed out had earnings. I don't know what Zion's Bank of Corporation is, but it kind of triggers me a little bit. We'll move on. VZ, GM, 3M, or yeah, 3M, all three, I think worth maybe some charting attention. Whether we do that tonight or this weekend, it doesn't matter. FCX, GE, L&T, Lockheed Martin. I think that's Sherwin-Williams, maybe. That one actually isn't that bad. EMPH. Pretty much, besides Texas Instruments, which I've called that one out before, but the contracts are fucking crazy. VRT, I know a lot of you guys asked me about that one. BA has earnings and it does have empty space. I don't think I'm going to play that one already, though. It just doesn't have that lucrative fucking setup. You're like trying to, you know, suck a pearl out of a baby clam. It's just not ready yet. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, TMO, right? CME, those are interesting ones. Tesla, that's boring. No one really cares about that one. LRCX, right?
Bruh.
IWM, and that's really about it. I don't really see. Las Vegas Sands actually might be an interesting one. But going into the end of the week, right? American Airlines, UPS, Love, the NASDAQ, its fucking self has earnings. Carrier, Tractor Supply, these are all ones that I think are worth. So we're picking up with earnings, which I don't know if you guys remember last earnings season. I don't know if you guys remember how the price action was. It's almost identical to what's happening right now. It was like most of the market was like moving in weird oscillations, kind of like not really picking a direction. But you had individual stocks shooting up into new highs, and then later on, the market kind of followed that overall positive. It's not what it did, but it's, you know, obviously we moved after some of the bigger names hit. So we already had a lot of the bigger moves, seen some decent moves. So I think really with this, it kind of plays into the chart as well. But anyway, that's about it. As far as earnings is concerned, I do think that these are worth charting though. And if those of you guys who are new, I have talked about this a lot. You want to get, yeah, actually, I know a lot of you guys are coming up on the end of your memberships, or like maybe you're thinking about taking a break. I would implore you to go out and chart anything that fucking moves. Have a pile of trash, right? Keep track of what the trash looks like. You want to know what trash looks like, right? You don't see empty space. You don't have clear price action. The contracts are due to, right? And then you have stocks that have good setups, right? Maybe they don't fit your script all the way because of costs, but you should. I'm telling you guys what I did, right? This isn't like a good idea that I have for you. That's what helped me do what I do now. You don't see these things until you keep looking, and you can't look at one chart to find it all. You need to look at a lot of them. So with earnings season coming up, this is what I did every single earnings. I started charting it all. I didn't know about half of the stocks when I first started too. You know, I didn't know every name and stuff like that. So, all right, my daughter's about to pop in, so just prepare for noise. All right. Other than that, you know, I think the consensus, you know, for me at least, is yeah, there's a good sense of sideways price action, or a good possibility of sideways action, but it also gives us clear parameters of where we want to get in if we're looking long. Hey, buddy, good to see you, baby. I'm glad it's the weekend. Yeah. But a good, you know, up. We know that we need, and this is where, you know, we can be clear. Open 497.15. We can look at Qs going to that 503 target. Okay. And then obviously underneath, or with sideways action falling, we have cost basis directly underneath us, and that would be a target of around 483.50. All right. So SPY is also another one. Now this one looks better, right? It does look better. On the 24-hour it looks better. I shouldn't even say this, but a lot of the times when I see something like this where you need to break out now. And the reason that I say that, because inside, and this is the autonomy of a box, right? This is like dissect. This is, you know, maybe a little bit deeper. So if you're new, you know, don't get confused. Just listen. 1, 2, 1. What does that tell me? That tells me that we never came back down to the floor that we control, or even came back down for a retest. We went to cost basis, which means you need to Monday or overnight send it. Because when you push off of a level like cost basis, that's a level to retest when you break out. It's typically not a level that you want to bounce off of inside of the box after one wave. It's not giving you the tension that you want. And these typically, so let's think about, why do we like well-structured boxes? It's not just the fact that they give us clear parameters as to where to take our trades, right? But they also allow for us to identify that tension is being created, tension that will allow for that box to continue moving, and it's going to have the volume, right? The more you go sideways, the more tension is created, right? Eventually that tension can just turn into stagnation, because you just lose the volume because you pick no direction, and those stocks typically are in need of a catalyst. But in this case, we have the bounce off of the 50% mark rather than that floor, and so this gives you weaker volume leaving, right, the box, which makes it easier to do something like that, which is why I prefer a box that does, realistically, I get excited for trades when I see a box and it flushes. When it just and you know, Jorge was somebody who pointed this out, I think, to everybody. It threw a question. It's something that I didn't even know I needed to narrate. When you dump from something and you leave that like right here, if you lose that floor and you just flush, it leaves empty space up to cost basis, making that momentum driving into it, and obviously gives it a better chance to break it. So I think with SPY, even with that even closing up against this, you know, I think it's just important that we gap up and just squeeze whatever sellers are outside of there and hit up and come back down later on, right? So this is basically the three scenarios I see. If you open up in this box Monday, I see a pop out and a pull back in, right? If you gap up outside, right, maybe like 586, I see a run up and then a eventual nasty leg down, like something like this. But anyway, this also will just make a great retest level. But weird question, but are stocks with higher volume tend to move better? Yes, higher influx of volume typically means higher and they move better. There's a lot of stocks that people bring me, and maybe just because I am making more money off of the, sometimes it's just like I don't even want to participate in that at all. Co-host, why are people trying to want to co-host me? But anyway, and I think it's the same question. So that's why punchbacks are so strong. That is exactly, yeah, that's a very good point. That is why punchbacks are so strong. The way that I see it, right, and I think metaphorically, clearly, right, little special here. When I look at this and I see like, okay, we dump, I see it as like you're leaving supplies for the journey back up that mountain, but you have to go back down and gather more, right? You're pulling back, retreating, there's a fucking snowstorm or something, you pull back, you gather more gear, so that way when you pull back up or you climb back up that mountain, you have a surplus and you can go even further. I try to make that work. But, you know, for me, this is just volume waiting for us to come back and release it. You know, that tension will break in one direction. That's why I love that Mara. I like explaining that Mara trade, because that was just kind of like the epitome, you know. But anyway, now one thing that I don't do a whole lot of, and I wish I still had, I used to have a ETF list. Let's see, do they have the quintessential one? Yeah, they do, but they're in Dow Jones and stuff like that. I might take a look at the Dow Jones here. Interesting. You know what, guys? I did not think about. I wonder. Well, I don't wonder, but I speculate because of the drop on the VIX here, and I don't even really look at the VIX a lot, but the drop on the VIX, possibly back down to this floor, is a drop in volatility. Which that's exactly why I would speculate the contract IV would die.
No, Ivy.
No. I vote Ivy to be a mod. Isn't Ivy already a mod? I'm almost positive she's a mod.
She's Ivy, not a mod.
She's the mod. Hold on. Trying to check now. You are a moderator? Okay, cool. I just was double checking, maybe question myself.
I used to be one, but that was the old account.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, Chef.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I just figured since this is a new account, I'm not yet your moderator.
Oh, so I do need to add you. Hold on.
Me too, my lord.
You're just gonna be banning people.
I only muted one person.
I did it. You're locked in, Ivy.
Yes, Chef.
All right. All right. So if you guys have anything you want me to take a look at here at the end of the day, the very end of the day, feel free to go ahead and drop those in the chat. Obviously, Discord, I see some of yours. So we'll go ahead and look at snow. I did talk about this one the other day. Obviously, breaking out, hitting the 50% mark, you move down into the lower time frame, and you've got a floor right here. You've got a box right here. You've got empty space underneath you, all the way back down to that 116 mark. You've got the potential, not the potential, but you have the makeup for your channel here and in here. So I'm predicting a pop up to go and test up into this 120-250. So I could imagine Monday. That's a day trading setup, right? That's literally where somebody could plan out and map out a potential day trade. But that's where I would be looking for snow to pop up and hit. And then at the same time, right, that's not giving you the long term. That's where we could either reject and then punch down through this box and make a new low, right? Imagine that would take a little bit of time and you would move back down into that structure. So top of the morning to you. You are. What are you guys doing in there? Oh, my kids are wrestling. So I personally see Bank of America. I mean, it looks like it's gonna fall. It looks like it's gonna come back down to 40.86, 4 hour, right? Shows the parameters, right, of what goes up, which is gonna be $43 even, and what goes down, which is gonna be 41.90. You do have two wicks here at 41.52. This is going to be on YouTube. I'm going to post it as soon as I'm done. All right. Look, I charted everything, dude. I haven't though. FedEx has an interesting setup. I see a channel here, and I see a candle close. So this, I think, goes one of two ways, right? You have a box here, and we go sideways. This gives you more time and more room, right, to do what you need to do. So whether that comes back down and taps here, and I would imagine that'd be right around this mark, and then we leave here. The first target outside of that, I want to place it there, but I'm going to give it the candle close at 282.50, and then obviously you're trying to aim up into the top of that channel. All right, so the next one I see is Soundhound, and this one looks pretty simple, and the weekly, it's again very clear. So typically when I see a box, and again, just like my favorite thing to go up is it's a favorite thing to go down, So up, right? I want to, if I was to flip this, just like I say, I want to punch up, I see this. Look at this. Yo, this actually looks like I got a crystal ball right now. Watch this. This is what I see. Because of that weird gap up or rip up like that, I see this. I see a pop up, a tap of 775, and a leg down all the way to like $1. Maybe not $1, but at least to 232. Path weekly. You need a weekly candle close outside of 1325. Not bad. I hate that big wick, but you are tapping the previous breakout level of 1323. So above that, I have one target for you, and that will be, you're going to look for 1355. That's going to be the imbalance, dead slap center. 1350, 1355. I believe if that is broken with volume, so you're pushing past it, I think you can go past this and go up to 1465 and complete that channel. Otherwise, this could be exactly what I said on the other one, where you hit the imbalance and you come back down. Both would be viable options. PayPal, I think you're trying to say PayPal. Is that PayPal or PYCR? PYCR. Okay, you know what you want. Hey, okay. All right, Chris. There you go, dude. Don't know what this is. Don't like that. Tell you that much. Not a big fan of that. But it's in there. We'll get rid of the channel. We don't need it right now. Okay, so PYCR is looking for a breakout outside of 1460, and I just see 1667. I mean, and I would maybe split that in half from here to here. So first target, 1560. Tesla, again, I'm calling for more sideways action. At least we're sitting on cost basis below 214.47. I'm seeing a drop to 197. But as of right now, if you're bullish, you probably want to see sideways action and then a rip up into earnings up to 263. PayPal. This one's in a box, and whenever I see that, it's just standby, right? Go into the lower time frames and map it out. So you have a gap up here. That gap is basically at the wall. So clearly, right, if you're going to get into this trade, it would make more sense to get in with that 81.10 as a stop loss, and you want to break past this. I can see there's already a channel here, here, and so 82.50. I have done that. Well, yeah, I do it again though. 24-hour on Ford, you're just banging up. I mean, we expected some turbulence because of the way that Ford trades. Coco, stop. 11.15 is that top, and then 11.32 directly above it. So I mean, nothing has changed for me. Just hanging on. Dell. Thank you guys for tapping your screen on TikTok. I appreciate you. Let's see here. So you hit the floor, A floor anyway. Coco, baby, you gotta stop. You know, it's kind of a little bit of a confusing chart, a little bit, but I can see where this is your floor, 128, and you are building a cost basis around it. Or essentially, your fingers are slipping from the trade. It's not over yet, because obviously if you have something up above you, we can map out what is below you. You can see you're bouncing off of 124.50. This creates the parameters of that box, right? Putter box right there. So anything underneath 124.50, and we're looking down. Down where exactly? That's gonna have to be where I look at next. What is Ellie talking about? She said dad's online? It's gonna be a memory for my kids. Like, my dad used to talk to people on the internet. Yeah. It's interesting because you still have empty space all the way up to 138. So I'm gonna leave that channel alone and just go ahead and say if you're mapping this out on a lower time frame, you need an entry above 131. You left empty space right here, and it looks like there's a box as well. So outside of 130.27, you can shoot your shot. I did that one. $24-hour trip. Nope. What? What? What are you talking about, dude? Anyway, so first green candle to your left, I really mean it when I say it. That's what you're struggling with, right? We can go ahead and just imagine that as we move, yeah, so this is going to be a wide range. So you are, and liquidity wise, right? It's just a little dry right now. Definitely something where I'd probably have some expiration behind it. The potential behind this trade though is phenomenal because it could offer a rip through that empty space up to 1720 through that 50% mark and into the empty space to 2250. And that's the potential that I don't, you know, when I see something like that, I don't want to trade it any other way. So, but interesting. All right, y'all. Let's do Riot. Amazon's here, Peyton. What did we buy? I did not know we were getting shit from Amazon. Uh-oh. I don't like that. That looks about right. Okay, so the weekly time frame, I got to go with what's nearest to me. It's not, you know, the craziest thing, but on the 24-hour, it makes a whole lot of sense that Riot would go all the way to 1064, and how it breaks out. And okay, so immediately I see a target right around 1435, and that would happen with a punch through. Yeah, essentially just want to move through that empty space, break over cost bases, and trigger that move over 1090 up to 1450. And I think what that would do is give you that high. Give you that high. All right, that's about it. Discord, if you guys have any questions, comments, whatever, shoot me a DM, let me know. I hope you guys had a good week. It's a little bit weird week. Obviously not a ton of like intraday volume, but we had a lot of really good swing trades. LW was a fucking, obviously an amazing gift. We also had ANF. We had a lot of different really good trades. So going into next week, the same thing needs to occur. Now, I don't have a huge watch list right now. I'm not seeing a ton of empty space, but that can change. We're going to go ahead and dig at the charts again. I encourage you guys to do the same. We all put our heads together. We're all looking for the same thing. There's really not a scanner on earth that can beat us. So search for the empty space, and then on Sunday we'll obviously bring that to the table, and we'll go from there. I will post this on YouTube. It'll be up shortly. But if you guys want, you guys can hop over to TikTok. I'm gonna finish up there, and we'll see you guys on Sunday. It'll probably be around 1:30, so Eastern time. All right. See you. All right. Do a couple of these really quickly, guys. Just for the algorithm, though, if you guys are just tuning in, I do want to kind of show off, even if you're not able to buy the workshop and you just can go with the, take a look at the gains here in the free server. So this guy bought him at $10, sold him at $3.70, right? So pretty good week for those free members. And then inside of our Discord, guys, it has literally just been a non-stop posting. This guy's been with me forever. His wife is now trading with him, so it's pretty fucking cool, man. I'm 40,000%. 40,000%, 5,450%. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that's unheard of, and it's just like, you know, you think it'd be a fluke, but you got multiple people posting the same averages, you know. Pretty cool stuff. So all right, let's take a look at I don't like Neo right now. Neo really, to me, looks like it wants to go and tap down at 489 and maybe even fill up the empty space to 423. Watching K Web on that one. Merc looks like it's going to be heading down to 108. Obviously, if you get a break of that, then you can look for a new low. Obviously, I have a 107 target there for you down below. So just a little bit further, honestly, and that would also leave behind a block. JetBlue. That one looks like, and I'm not a big fan of JetBlue right now, but it does look like it's trying to go ahead and punch back. So 50% mark, you're looking for a move up to 923. You have another punch back directly up above this, and that would be 1027, and that would end at basically 1188. So I'd have a target right around there, at least for now. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. The Discord is I think still 25% off, so if you guys want to take advantage of that now, it should be up. But I've had some really fucking awesome weeks here going forward, so I expect the same thing. I will be posting some updates on our classes, and that's about it. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys have a great week. If you guys aren't trading in the Discord with us, there's still a lot of money to be made. So peace out. I'm out.